So it's 5 p.m. on Monday, December 11th, 2023, sun setting. I got here too late. I wanted to come about an hour earlier, set up some wires, but we did our shopping run in Plano and Dallas, so we're back a little later than I wanted to be. But it was my wife's birthday and our wedding anniversary is coming up, 25 years, you know, so it was a little celebration there. Anyway, did want to kind of look at the grass here, so here, let's get what they're moving into so you can see what they're doing. My daughter's setting up the wire and she's gonna bring the wire down and move the cows. So this is what the eastern part of the field looked like this morning. The eastern part of this section. And this is what it looks like now. And I'm looking for any of that spiky grass. There's plenty left. There's some right there. You know. So it looks good. Excuse me. There's a little bundle of it over here near an old paddy. I guess they just skipped that because they can still smell it. But otherwise it looks like they exposed a lot of the dead summer grass and just kind of cleaned it up. Now the question, the most important question, is this enough grass to recover quickly? I think the answer is absolutely yes. There's plenty of grass left here. And I think my cows did a good job of thinning it, but not scalping it. So the next time I'll be back here is in about 5 weeks. And so 5 weeks is 35 days. And so if you add 35 to 11, that's 46, subtract 31. So January 15th. Now my question, dear viewer, do you think that when I come back here in 5 weeks that we'll see some regrowth? Keep in mind that I checked the weather forecast and it looks like January 1st might be a hard freeze. It might drop down to below 30, like 27 or something like that. We're going to get probably 2 days of rain, and not in certain this area of the country, but let's just say we're going to get an inch of rain. But I don't think the rain's going to make a big difference one way or the other because the ground is already very, very damp. And the average temperature is about 55, the average high between here and January 15th. The only real forecast we have for cold is, as I mentioned, the January 1st freeze at night, which it's going to be like a 62-degree day that day, so it's just the temperature's varying a lot. There, the cows are moving. And the other is at the end of January, it looks like we might get some weather where it doesn't go much above freezing. Like the high will be in the 40s. And the lows will be below 30. So maybe another hard freeze for several days at the end of January. It's all speculation, of course. But that's what it looks like this part of winter is going to be. Now, is that to say that that's the only cold days we're going to see? There's 24, by the way, very full left side. Nice. You keep on trucking. The question is that the only winter freeze we're going to get this year? And the answer is February. And in my limited experience here in this part of the country, if you get a cold blast in December or January, it's cold. Things freeze a little bit, but generally it's not that bad, right? If you get a cold blast in February, that's when things typically are worse. I don't know what exactly it is, but both Februarys I've been here, no, 2 out of 3 Februarys I've been here so far have been disasters. Right, the first year I was here with Snowmageddon, people froze to death in Texas because of that. That was ridiculous. And I hope somebody hangs for the mismanagement of our power grid. And I know that the rumor is that DC was telling us whether or not we can use power. But the fact of the matter is that people froze to death because the power wasn't there. And somebody deserves to hang for that at least. And then the other question, how did manure get up there? I don't know. And the other one was the ice storm that we had earlier this year in February, which caused problems. You know, that's why all these branches and stuff are down, is because the ice storm, like there was a good almost an inch of ice that built up on everything, and everything was just dragged down by gravity. Ice is not light stuff, it is heavy. And so we had the ice storm, and the cows were actually shivering. I remember seeing yellow shiver, and that's when I made the decision to stop the rotation altogether. I moved them into these woods, and then from here I moved them into the back 20. There's better brush in the back 20 than there is here. This is like a park, but there's spots over there where the brush is kind of thick, and I figured they'd get more shelter from the rain and the cold. So that's what I did back in February. So what I'm saying is that you know, these cold blasts, if you can call them that, are not what I'm really worried about. It's February. Once we get through February, once I see a good forecast for February, then I'm like pretty certain that we'll be done with winter. But if the trend continues, then this will be one of the mildest winters that I've known. I do think that the grass will grow plenty. I do think that we'll probably not get to the point where we don't need hay, but certainly we won't need as much hay as I've needed in years past. So I'm looking forward to it. Plus, I haven't even touched the northern third of my property, which I'm saving for the spring. When the spring grass really starts taking off, then I'm going to start rotating from the northernmost part of our field and through the first third there. And we're going to rotate rapidly. We are going to cruise. I'm going to do 3 weeks. I'm going to cover 60 acres once spring starts. And if before I get to the end, if I see in the beginning that the grass is going to boot stage, we're going to go back to the beginning, right? So we're going to go back to the beginning once I see the grass going to boot stage, and then we're going to go on a 6-week rotation. Okay, 6 weeks, 6 times 7 is 42. Okay, so we're going to have a 42-day rotation through spring, and I think I'm just going to keep chasing the boot stage in the first part of that field. So this southern part of the field is going to be basically untouched for spring, right? Unless I just decide to keep rotating and just ignore the boot stage. And then once we get out of spring, and once the weather starts to warm up in May, then at some point I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to make a decision and say, okay, trample, right? And so I'm going to give these cows long rows that are very thin. We're going to be rotating them through those rows very rapidly, maybe just half a day in each row. And the goal is to have the cows like level, like trample all of that spring grass into the ground. Okay? And the reason why we do that is to give the summer grass a head start, right? And oh my goodness, 19, you're so fat. You are so fat, 19. Oh my goodness, you're fat. Okay, anyway. So trampling, and then we'll have, I think the middle third is what I'm preserving for the summer graze. So, but that first spring graze in mid-March is when I anticipate it'll happen. We're going to just speed through 3 weeks, graze the entire pasture, and then go back to the beginning as soon as the boot stage starts. So hopefully I'll be swimming in grass by the end of March, early April. And hopefully that will be when the calves start dropping. So I'll see like basically 3 or 4 new calves every morning, hopefully for a while, you know. I mean, maybe not that many, because I have like 2 months to give birth to 11 calves, 22 calves. Right, so maybe one every other day. And I'm going to tag them all. I'm going to get a new set of tags. I'm going to keep those little isopropyl wipes, you know. And what I'm going to do is probably just keep a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. And when there's a new calf, I'm going to sanitize everything with the isopropyl alcohol. And I'm going to tag their ear. So it's not infection that causes the tags to drop. I might get 2 sets to tag each ear with the same number, you know. So That'll be fun. When the calves are first born, they can't run away from you. But when you have the calf, you kind of have to sit on it. When you have the calf on the ground and you're sitting on it, the mom gets really antsy. She does not like that. There's, I think, only one cow. I think it was number 20, actually. One of the cows, when I sat on the calf, was really not happy, and I was scared. So I told my son or my daughter, I don't forget who was there, but I said, I want you to watch, okay? And you yell at me if that cow starts running towards me, I'm going to get off the calf and run, you know? So, yeah, you can see here the grass is deeper than the hooves. This cow, like the hooves are buried in grass. This is number 19 again. My little fatty. Okay, so we're doing pretty good. The western part of the, oh, I can see the bull calves over there in the distance. Let me zoom in, show you. Yeah, they're in the distance. I wanted to move them out into the pasture. They've been back there for a while. They've been back there for probably 2 weeks now, which is a little longer than I'd like to be in one area. But that's 20 acres for 4 calves, so that should be plenty of ground. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. Have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.